In today's episode of Hardcore Minecraft, I start a massive new district in my ever-growing city. My first order of business is building up a platform for citizens to walk on. Let's start things off with the time lapse. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. As you saw in me building this little bit of the dock, I have created a new custom model with this bigger daylight detector that I've called the Dark Oak Crate. It doesn't actually work as a daylight detector, but I needed a block, or I wanted a block that was larger than a daylight detector but with the same colors. And so because I already have some custom detectors in this world and I've already allowed myself to use them, I just made a renamed piece of paper and used a resource pack to make it a Dark Oak Crate. And there is some definite meme potential here. But yeah, with that insanity aside, let's get back to the time lapse. I hate to interrupt the time lapse, but there is important stuff I must show and important stuff I must do. As you can see from the time lapse I just got out of, I've gotten a lot more progress on this little section right here, and I've turned on some nice shaders. My render distance is lower than it usually is, but you get some nice shaders in exchange. As you can see, I built this right here, and there's a skylight, and yep, here's that little daylight sensor, don't talk to me or my son ever again model I made earlier. A secret door to somewhere. I wonder where. So all kinds of cool detailing tricks. And then this is the place I was just working on. Charm. It's a fashion shop called Charm. And it's magical fashion. It's the tagline. We got a bunch of people here, all looking at the various clothing options. And if you listen closely, there's even some subtle ambience. It's very quiet in actuality because I don't want it to be too obtrusive while I'm building, if that makes sense. Like, I want it to add to the atmosphere, but not, like, be overwhelming. And I actually had to put this really far underground. It's generated by a glow squid head, which is generated via a data pack I have for more mob heads, far underground beneath the building. And there's some spirit redstone stuff I don't need anymore. And anyway, what I want to do now is create a bit of a sign for this place. I'm currently in Blockbench, which is the program that I use for making all my custom models. So let's make a new Java block/item, confirm, and let's just see where the art takes us. I think I want to make this 3x3, which means 48 by 48 pixels. Move this to -16 on the X and the Y. Nice and big canvas. Next thing, I need to create a texture, and now I can start painting it. I want to get a bit of like a base for this first, with some like fancy text, because I want to do this in my own script that I've been developing, which I've been using a lot throughout the world, so let me do that. And I gotta spell out charm, magical fashion, real quick. And I want to do it in kind of like a fancy font, if you know what I'm saying. And you know, because it's a proper noun, I'll add a little apostrophe right here. Yep, that says charm. That looks nice. I like the fancy font. Let me just move this up a little bit. Boom. There we go. Charm, magical fashion. You probably aren't able to read that. That's because it's in my own script and you don't have a direct translation document, but trust me that it does say charm, magical fashion. I've now opened the file in a 2D pixel art program called Pixel Art. It's just on my browser and it's just better for work on two-dimensional stuff because it has more tools. First, I'm going to want to resize the canvas so we can crop out all the unnecessary stuff. I realized that I could just remake all that other texture stuff later. And I'll set the height and the width both to 48 pixels with the anchor in the top left. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly palette swap everything real quick to just switch out the colors. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I can start painting over stuff. This is a very nice mystical purple, although I kind of want it a little more like bluish and a little less saturated like here. And I'd like to start making a bit of a color palette. It's always helpful. I'll start coloring stuff in now. In terms of pixel art, I'm actually quite happy with this. I think that turned out very well. Yeah, that turned out great. Everything now, at least, should be theoretically loaded into my resource pack for my hardcore world right here. So let's test that. You'll actually be able to get this item just like all of my other custom items, which is taking a sheet of paper and using an anvil to rename it. In this case, I decided to call this the charm sign. Excellent. And so when I place it down in the world, this is an invisible item here, by the way, made possible by a data pack. It doesn't look invisible, but when you place something in it, it turns invisible. But regardless, at least in theory, when I place this down, boom, giant charm sign. I think it looks really nice and will be awesome for charm, magical fashion. I might tweak the placement a little bit. I'm not quite satisfied with that, but yeah. For the time being, we got a brand new custom texture that, in my opinion at least, looks very nice. And
please subscribe. If you do, you will instantly become charming and fashionable. Even a like would go a long way. Anyway, the next thing on my list is an arcade. I have some really cool ideas, so let's get started. That's pretty cool, but there are a few more things that I want to add. For the last time today, roll the time lapse. I know that the build is not yet done. There is much work left, but I have other projects that I just can't wait to work on. For now, I'll leave you here. If you subscribe, I might just finish this district by the end of the year. I hope that before then I don't die, but for now, I wish you all goodbye.